Hello everyone, this is Thirumala. Welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of HTML5 tutorial for beginners. If you have not already seen my part 1 of this tutorial, please go through the video. I have covered in part 1 what is HTML, HTML editors, HTML attributes, HTML headings, HTML paragraphs and HTML styles. So in part 2 we'll start with HTML formatting, and before that I think in part 1 I have I forgot to show you about href attribute, an example. So href attribute, in the href attribute we provide the link, and let me go back. Okay, href attribute, HTML links are defined with the a tag. The link address is specified in the href attribute. So here I have in the example I'm showing a href equal to https www.google.com or whatever link, the website link you want to provide, and then this is the text which will be shown on the web page. So let me save this and refresh the browser. Okay, let me move up so you can all see. Okay, if you can see here, Google link. If I click on this, it will take you to google.com. So that's how it is. Let me give a line break here so you can see clearly. You can see now we have the line break. Okay, so coming back to part 2, HTML formatting. HTML formatting elements. HTML also defines special elements for defining text with a special meaning. HTML uses elements like B and I for formatting output, like B for bold and I for italic. Formatting elements were designed to display special types of text. B means bold text, strong means important text, I italic, EM for emphasized text, mark for marked text, small for small text, DEL for deleted text, INS for inserted, SUB for subscript, SUP for superscript text. HTML-B and strong elements. The HTML-B element defines bold text without any extra importance. Example, B, this text is bold. The HTML strong element defines strong text with added semantic strong importance. Example, strong, this is strong. This text is strong. So let's see the difference. Let me remove this one. B. This text is bold. Strong. So let me refresh and see. Okay, so this is how the text is bold, the first line, and this text is strong. So B element defines bold text without any extra importance. Strong element defines strong text with added semantic strong importance. HTML and EM elements. HTML element defines italic text without any extra importance, and HTML EM element defines emphasized text with added semantics importance. So let's see the difference between these two as well. Okay, let me give a line break here. So there's a difference. So the italic is displayed in italic, and emphasized text defines EM element defines emphasized text with some added semantic importance. Next, HTML small element, mark, and del element. HTML small element defines smaller text. We'll see the example now. Let's delete this H2 and HTML small formatting. Let's refresh the browser and see now. Okay, if you can see the small, it's displayed in smaller text. Mark element. The HTML mark element defines marked or highlighted text. If you want to highlight some of your text in your web page, you can use mark element. Let me mark. Okay, let me save this. Okay, if you can see, marked is highlighted because it's enclosed, the text is enclosed within the mark element. And del element, the HTML del element defines deleted or removed text. Example, my favorite color is blue will be striked out, and then red will be will not be striked out. So let's see this example here. Okay, if you can see, my favorite color is blue is tracked out because it's in the del element, and then red. Okay, that's about HTML small, mark, and del element. And then ins inserted element sub. Let's see, HTML ins element defines inserted or added text. So my favorite color will be inserted is red. Let's see this example. Okay, my favorite color This is in INS. Let's see how this should. Okay, color here. Okay, my favorite color is red. Let's refresh. Okay, it's the inserted element, or the inserted text is color here. So it's it shows that color is the inserted text here, so it's underlined. Okay, sub element. The HTML sub element defines subscripted text. This is a subscripted text. Let's see this example so you will be able to see how it shows. Subscripted. Let me refresh. Okay, if you can see, this subscriptor is subscripted, the text. Okay, sub element, HTML sub element defines superscripted. So now instead of sub, this will be sub, and instead of subscripted, superscripted. Yeah, if you can see, it's superscripted, the text superscripted because of the sub element. Okay, next, HTML comments. Comment tags are used to insert comments in the HTML source code. Comments can be added to HTML code by using the following syntax: less than symbol, then the exclamation mark, hyphen hyphen or dash dash comments, then you put you end it with there is no exclamation mark in the ending tag. Comments are also great for debugging HTML because you can comment out HTML lines of code one at a time to search errors. It also gives, like, say you're looking at someone else's code, you'll be able to understand clearly with comments. Otherwise you'll not know what is going on there, what that particular code is for. So if you add comments for each and every code, it will be legible and readable. Say I'll add here heading to something like that. So it will not show in the browser or the web page. It will be just for your purpose to see what that line of code is for, or it's also great for debugging HTML. HTML colors are specified using predefined color names or RGB, hex, HSL, RGBA, HSLA values. Background color. You can set the background color for HTML elements. Like here we have set the background color for the whole body. You can set the background color for HTML elements. Example like h1 style equal to background color tomato hello. So this hello background should be highlighted, or the color should be tomato red. So let's see that. h1 style equal to background color tomato. Let's refresh the browser to see. Okay, if you can see, okay, yeah, if you can see the big heading, it's underlined, or the background color is in tomato red. Text color, you can set the color of text to I think we have already seen that. Okay, yeah, like here in the h1 style equal to color blue, so that heading 1 text will be in blue. Yeah, if you can see. already. So that we have already seen. Border color, you can set the color of borders too. So example, h1 style equal to border 2 pixel. We are mentioning the border thickness should be the 2 pixel, and then the border color should be solid tomato. So let me try this. H1 style equal to border 2px solid tomato. Let me refresh. Okay, if you can see now, this big heading has a border and it's of 2 pixel, and the border color is solid tomato. Or you can change it to something else like red. Let me refresh the browser. Oh, I think that's not there. Okay, solid green. Okay, yeah. Color values. In HTML, colors can also be specified using RGB values, hex values, HSL values, RGBA values, and HSLA values. Same as color name tomato, so these below examples will give the same color as tomato, and you can specify the background color in here. In the first one example, we are specifying in RGB 255, 99, 71. So it is the same color as tomato. And here we are specifying the color in hex, and this one is in HSL. H1 style equal to background color. Background color RGB 255, 99, 71. Let's refresh the browser and see. Okay, yeah, it's the same as the color tomato. And then in the hex value you can give FF6347 and try. Let's see. Hash FF6347. Okay, it's the same color, so that works. Next, HTML CSS. Styling HTML with CSS. CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how HTML elements are to be displayed on screen, paper, or in other media. CSS saves a lot of work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. CSS can be added to HTML elements in 3 ways. This is really important. Inline, by using the style attribute in HTML elements like we have been doing in the h1 style equal to color blue or background color and so many things. That is inline. Internal, by using a style element in the head section. So here you can use the style element and specify the styles for the whole HTML page. This one h1 style, this is specific to that particular element, HTML element. So that's why that's inline, which is by using the style attribute in HTML elements. Internal, by using a style element in the head section. External is by using an external CSS file. So CSS can be added to HTML elements in three ways: inline, internal, and external. Inline CSS. An inline CSS is used to apply a unique style to a single HTML element. An inline CSS uses the style attribute of an HTML element. Example, this example sets the text color of the H1 element to blue. So this we have already seen. We have seen so many examples for the style, for the inline CSS, using the style in the style element, style attribute in the H1 element and other elements like paragraph. Internal CSS. An internal CSS is used to define a style for a single HTML page. An internal CSS is defined in the head section of an HTML page within a style element. This is the example: doc type HTML, HTML head, and in the head we are providing a style element, and then body. For body we are specifying the background color as powder blue, and H1, for all the H1 headings the text should be color blue, and for all the paragraphs the text color should be color red. So let's try this. Style. Okay, here in the style I'll specify body background color powder blue. Then H1 color blue, then P color red, okay. So let's refresh the browser and see what we have given here. Powder blue. Okay, let's change this. This was already in powder blue. Let's change it to gray. Okay, now we are mentioned background color as gray, H1 text color blue, paragraph color red. Okay, now the paragraph text is in red. Okay, color blue. Okay, H1 is in color blue, P is in red, but why did not background color change? Background color did not change. Okay, because this is overriding it, so let me delete this one. Okay, now we can see even though this style element which we have specified is for the whole web page, but when we have mentioned it in the body element, the body tag, I think that is overriding the one in the style element. So this is how internal CSS works. And next, external CSS. An external style sheet is used to define the style for many HTML pages. With an external style sheet, you can change the look of an entire website by changing one file. To use an external style sheet, add a link to it in the head section of the HTML page. An external style sheet can be written in any text editor. The file must not contain any HTML code and must be saved with a .css extension. Example, styles.css body. This is what will be there in the styles.css body. Background color powder blue, H1 color blue, P color red. and then this is the HTML, and we will link that styles.css style sheet to this HTML. So let's try this. Let me open a new file. HTML page. Okay. Now we want in the head, we will link that style sheet later when we create that. In the body, h1, this is a heading. This is a paragraph. Okay, let me save it here. This one. Okay, so this is what we have currently in our HTML page1.html. So that is what is displayed. Now I'll open a new file, style sheet. Okay, and let me give it here in the styles.css, body, background color as antique white, and then okay, and for h1 color is aqua. For P, color is blue. Okay, let me save this. Let's go to our web page and refresh. Okay, I forgot to link this style sheet here in the HTML link. How do we link? We link like this. Link rel equal to style sheet, and then href equal to so our CSS file name is style sheet 1.css. Okay, and close. Let's save this and refresh. Okay, now you can see the style sheet, whatever styles we have mentioned, the color and everything, it's effective now. The background color is antique white, and then h1 color I gave as aqua, p para color as blue. So that's how it works. So external style sheet can be used to define the style for many HTML pages. That's the example. CSS fonts. The CSS color property defines the text color to be used. The CSS font family property defines the font to be used. The CSS font size property defines the text size to be used. So here you can see for the h1 you can mention the color, font family, font size, and for the para also you can specify the color, font family, and font size. So see about CSS fonts, we'll see more in the CSS tutorials. So but this is the example. And CSS border. CSS border property defines a border around an HTML element. Example, for the para, you say you want to have a border, thin border, then you can specify border colon 1 pixel, and you can also specify the color for that border. CSS padding. The CSS padding property defines a padding, means a space between the text and the border. Example, for the P border 1 px solid powder blue, padding 30 pixel. So if you want to see that, P border 1 pixel, P so this is in the paragraph, sorry, this one in the paragraph. If you mention border 1 pixel and then the solid powder blue color. Let's refresh and see. Okay, padding 30 pixel. Okay, okay, but still we should get the border wise. Border 1 px. Okay, I saved the file, style sheet, and refresh. So now you can see a thin border, which we have mentioned as 1 pixel. Let me change it to 2 pixel and see the thickness should increase of the border. 5 pixel. Okay, now you can see the 5 pixel is thick. Okay, now the padding 30 pixels. So if we give the padding, now the border, there is no space between the text and the border, right? Now we give padding 30 pixel, the text should there will be some space between the border and the text. Padding okay, save and let me refresh. Okay, now you can see 30 pixel, that's the padding. So that's why you can see there is lot of space now between the border and the text in between that. Okay, so that's the padding, that's about padding. Now margin, CSS margin. The CSS margin property defines a margin, space outside of the border. So let's see this example. It says it will give space outside of the border, so between these two, I think. So margin P1 border 1 px, margin 50x. Margin 50 pixel. Let's see. Okay, now you can see. So margin 50 pixel means it is giving margin is the defines a margin space outside of the border. So that 30 pixel we have mentioned only 50 pixel, only one value. So that 50 pixel is the space outside of the border from the top, the bottom, the left and the right, everything. If you want to give for the left, right, top, bottom, specify everything, we can do. We'll see that later in the CSS, more in the CSS tutorials. The ID attribute. To define a specific style for one element, add an ID attribute to the element, like a PID equal to P01 paragraph 1. Then define a style for that element with the specific ID. This we provide in the HTML file, and then this one in the CSS file. So let's see that quickly. P here ID equal to P01, and then here we'll specify this one as if we have too many paragraphs, say, so we can specify for paragraph 1 or for a particular paragraph you want to change the style in the CSS file, then you can give that particular paragraph a specific ID, like ID equal to P01, and then in the CSS file you can specify the color, the style for that particular ID. Like here you can say hash P01, okay, like that. If you have one more para, and then you can give that separately, like P color some other color, like say blue violet, so we can differentiate easily now. If I go here, okay, you can see this para which we don't have the ID, that is in the, we are specified as blue violet, and for the para with the ID P01 we have this style, different style specified. So the ID attribute, you can use it to define a specific style for one element, and you can by using this ID attribute. The next one is the class attribute. To define a style for special types of elements, add a class attribute to the element, like P class equal to error para1. Then define a style for the elements with the specific class. That was ID, so that's why you, when you have to mention the specific style for that ID in the CSS, you mention hash and that ID. P01 is the ID, so you mention the hash. Whereas if it's a class, in the CSS file you mention it's for para, right? So P dot the class name, which is P dot error. So you mention like this the style in the CSS. External references. External style sheets can be referenced with a full URL or with a path relative to the current web page. This example uses a full URL to link to a style sheet. So this is the full URL, and if you are mentioning only styles.dss means styles.css means it is a path relative to the current web page. Okay, so we'll finish up HTML CSS in this part, and we'll continue in the next part from HTML links. So this example links to a style sheet located in the HTML folder on the current website. So on the current website, on the HTML folder, you mention like this: href equal to /html/styles.css. Then this next example links to a style sheet located in the same folder as the current page. So you just mention href equal to styles.css. Here, if you can see, my HTML page1.html and styles.css, they're in the same folder. That's why I just mentioned href equal to stylesheet1.css. So that's about HTML CSS. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like my videos, please like, comment on my videos, share, and also please subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. And this is the end of part 2 of HTML tutorial, and in the part 3 we'll continue from HTML links. Thanks for watching again. Have a good day.